Dear friends, welcome back to my channel Let's Read. I really hope that you are enjoying the English narration of the Hindi stories. Your immense support means a lot. From the timeless collection of Malti Joshi, Let's Read Snehband. Ma, this is Mitu, Maitreyi. When Dhruv introduced her, she kept looking, gazing at her face. A small face under the cut hair, half covered with goggles. Bright yellow pullover over the navy blue jeans. The cables made on it are so cute that if someone else was there, she would have taken the design first by sitting nearby, and rest of the things would have happened later. But she was me too, Maitreyi. Summing up all my reactions in my mind, I said in a simple voice, "You guys go and sit in the drawing room. Should I call Papa?" The children's father, Hasbe Mahmood, was reading the newspaper lying in the easy chair in the garden. It is a 4-page newspaper, but will go from morning to evening till reading it. Pouring all my annoyance on him, I said, Bahurani has come. Let's go. Check it out. Bahurani? He said in a shock. Then, taking off the glasses and looking straight at me, he said, "The daughter-in-law has come. So why is your voice so harsh?" "Not one or two. It has been 28 years of living together. Each and every moment of my voice is memorized." Still, I did not answer and went to the kitchen on the pretext of making tea. After half an hour, when the tea and breakfast were ready and to be taken out, at that time the drawing room was buzzing with noise. In the meantime, perhaps Shiv had also returned from college, and everyone was laughing at some of his jokes. On seeing me, Shiv went inside and took the tray. Dhruv made room by removing all the junk from the table. The jug of water and the vial of chutney were left inside. Keeping the tray, Shiv ran and brought both the things. Everything was happening quite naturally. Ever since Savita has gone to her in-laws' house, the children were taking turns to help their mother. But I don't know why I didn't like all this today. The people should have had a little patience. I would have also seen how well this girl is. She was going to be the future daughter-in-law of the house. She could have asked to help for the namesake only, but no. She kept sitting outside like a lad sahab. The boys were running around like poor waiters. Hot samosas were made for snack. Suji laddus and homemade chivra were also accompanied. Everyone saw the taste of breakfast and were delighted. "Hi mom, you made all this at home?" said Meeta happily. "I can't believe it. You give such a rich breakfast every day. That's why both of your sons are getting fat." "Hey, don't look at us like this," Dhruv interrupted. "It is mother's lifelong sadhana behind us. You know, Meeta ji," said Shiv, wearing an artificial seriousness, "our mother has made us feed and feed so much that now we will deal with whatever rakish wife we get. We will not leave the field and run away." The room once again erupted in laughter, but I was feeling very excited. Who gave her a right to call my children Motumal? Haven't she even come to the house and has started ordering? Wow, this even happened? What should we do if your parents did not feed you? You make him lean by feeding bread in your urine. That's it. "Okay, Ma, I should leave." I woke up from my sleepiness. Everyone had stood up. Meeta was saying bye. After leaving the gate, we returned back. Dhruv went to drop her till her house. "It was the first time," said children's father, as soon as we came inside the house. "You offer shagun to whosoever comes home, and you just sent her empty-handed?" I did not respond. After collecting the empty plates and cups, she went to the kitchen. So what? If she came for the first time, what would anyone do? Have we taken the contract for the customs? Couldn't she bow down and touch our feet once? She was completely adopting the Western culture. I remained in the kitchen all evening. I knew everyone would be curious to know my reaction, but I didn't let anyone get winded. Shiv came and hovered once or twice, but I kept on pretending to be busy. There was an unsaid tension at the dinner table as well. The father tried to break it by telling a couple of jokes, but nothing worked. Where does the work even finishes after eating? I have to see all the doors and windows, all the lights in the house have to be turned off, the pipe has to be left in the tank, milk and curd utensils have to be kept in a mesh cupboard, drying clothes have to be taken off in the courtyard. As I was completing one task at a time, I saw that Dhruv had come and was standing silently. Ma, he called in a trembling voice. What is it? I asked, folding the towel. How did you like Meeta? What about my opinion? You must like her, that's all. No, Ma, your choice is very important, yours and Papa's. The turmoils had been rising in my mind ever since evening, and it was intensified by the question of Dhruv. Ma, you didn't answer. Well, tell me, did she knew you were taking her here? I asked a question. Yes, but why? Couldn't she come dressed like that? At least you can see her. Ma, I told her. Then she said, let them see me the way I am. It's not good to pretend. Well, leave the clothes. How did you like her? Tell me. Dhruv was asking so tenderly that I could not hurt him. Okay, she was fine. I said casually and ended. Otherwise, the truth was that I had not seen Meeta properly. At first glance, her appearance made my mind sour. How many soft fantasies were in my mind about the daughter in law? Everything was reduced to ashes. Anger was coming on my son. Don't these people have sense while falling in love? How lovely and beautiful relations were coming for him. But in the fate, it was written Circus Sundari, was it not? I was left with a sigh. Once it was only a matter of time. Before we got the stamp of approval, all the work was done quickly and with all the rituals. Meeta's father himself came home and formally initiated the relationship, requested to make Meeta his daughter-in-law. He told that after the death of his wife, his children often grew up in the hostel. He also remained on tour. The boy got married 2 years ago. Since then, the house has begun to assume some shape. Neetu has been deprived of learning a lot due to her stay in the hostel. They were scared, but Dhruv has assured that his mother is very tolerant and affectionate. She will mold her accordingly. In the answer, Dhruv's father also reassured him, said that we are not so conservative as to find a daughter-in-law of the 16th century in an architect girl. Thus ended the first round of introduction in a very courteous atmosphere. Then the engagement took place with much fanfare. Both sides spent freely. Dowry was out of the question, so we were saved from the bitter discussion of transactions. Still saving everyone's eyes, I handed over a list to Samdhiji. The elder son was getting married. Negotiations of relatives should have been met. People always give their daughter. Their giving throughout life never ends. But for other people, the chance only comes in marriage. I had also given Dhruv a list. What was the list? This list was a complete code of conduct for the daughter-in-law. Meeta will come to the house only after marriage. She will not get her hair cut in future. She will make a habit of putting bangles in hand. The head will be covered in marriage. As long as there are guests in the house, she will wear a sari. She will not call Dhruv by the name in front of people. The list was very long. Whatever I could remember in detail was added. Shiv had named it at the Bisurti program. He used to tease Dhruv on the way. Dada bhai, how many threads has Bhabhi mesmerized till now? Sometimes he would say, tell Bhabhi, even if she couldn't come first, it will do. But at least passing marks should come. This teasing was not just a joke. There was also a latent outrage in this. Because of Ma, the image of these people had become completely mythical. Dhruv didn't say anything with his mouth, but the sad laughter he would have laughed at Shiv's teasing said everything. Finally, one day I said, look Shiv, this is not a joke. Don't think that I am doing anything for myself. I don't want anyone to criticize my new daughter-in-law. Some people simply come to the weddings with the same intention to point out and criticize the newlywed daughter-in-law. After this, the children were silent. Well, I didn't even say anything wrong. Some people really come to the wedding just to make fun of it. Newlywed brides have to face the most criticism. And why should I lie? I myself have participated in this campaign many times. For all the daughter in laws who have come in families on both sides so far, I always had something to say. Suresh's daughter in law walks around the kitchen wearing slippers. Mahesh's daughter in law does not leave the bed before 9 o'clock. Rajan's daughter in law doesn't even look into the kitchen. Alok's daughter in law keeps on chanting his name round the clock. She is not even conscious of her own brother in law and father in law. Nikhil's daughter in law is also not a tismarkha. Whenever she will see her husband laughing and talking with 4 people, she will bring the child and hand him and say, "This belongs to both of us, so why should I carry throughout the day?" Hearing this, the ears of aunt got puckered, and then one day she said, "Bahu, everyone knows that no one can produce a child alone, but no one beats the bushes like you do." All these were samples before my eyes. That is why the idea of an ideal daughter in law was there in the mind. Thought that the girl I would bring for Dhruv would be different from all of them. But where you can get all your thoughts happen? If she will follow all your conditions, then you will like her. Will you, Ma? One day Dhruv I had asked with great hope by putting his arms around my neck. Then I was satisfied, thinking that how much the boy still loves me. Considering the surrounding environment, this was also no less. The wedding took place with much pomp and show. It was the first marriage of the house. Countless guests had come. Many of them had to return disappointed. They didn't got a single chance to comment. I myself was very scared. One, that the girl didn't had a mother. Her Karta Dharta was the elder sister who was settled in America. Both husband and wife were doctors. Brother and sister-in-law were still new. But in the reception, there was no error or disorder. Meeta's father was being so humble. Her sister and her husband, brother and sister-in-law, uncle, Tau, were all idols of courtesy and humility. And when I saw Meeta at the time of Jaimal, my eyes just got connected with her. Where had she hidden this beauty for so long? Dressed in a red Banarsi sari, she looked like a maiden doll. There was a slight disinterest regarding the intercaste marriage that too kept going. Nandurani had been poking on this matter. Now I will be able to raise my head and say in front of everyone, "Bhai, we have seen the girl's appearance, wisdom, intelligence, and the family. Who is looking for caste and creed these days?" 8 to 10 days, there was a complete fair in the house. For as long as it could lasted, Meeta sat covered in the sari between her sister and sister-in-laws. She kept pampering their children, kept raising the mother-in-law and sister-in-law of the other relations. Everyone was happy, and on the way, everyone went on congratulating me. After marriage, both went to Masuri for 8 to 10 days. I had stopped Savita till she returned, thought that both of us would stay together for a few days. The next morning, I was busy in the kitchen when Savita came near and whispered, "Ma, look at Bhabhi. See what she is wearing, a maxi with big yellow flowers. She is putting plates on the table." Me and Savita both were staring at each other's faces. Who would raise this issue and how? I was getting scared of the boys these days, but Savita, she was not scared with both of them. She went out and said, "Meeta Rani, which dress are you wearing today?" "Oh, it's a casual dress, Didi." Then, understanding Savita's questioning vision, she said, "Ma's order was to wear a sari in front of the guest. That's why I kept wearing it for so many days. But it seems so tied up. So you don't count us as guests? You belong to the house, Didi. You are our family." If there had been some other time, I would have been happy on this matter. But this time the problem was a bit delicate. I went ahead and said, "Beta, every now and then someone comes in the house to see you. But Ma, wearing a sari doesn't feel comfortable at all. I can't even work. It's just days to dress up like a doll, Beta. You have entire life to work. And why do you need to work when I'm sitting?" "Okay, Ma, but it is not necessary to go office wearing a sari, isn't it? I won't be able to drive." "Drive? You mean you want to drive a Luna? This too was stuck in my mind. Seeing Luna with wedding supplies, my sister in law laughed. Wow, Dhruvji, you have crossed the limits of straightforwardness. Nowadays, no one talks below Bajaj Super. You at least could have asked. Mami ji, said Dhruv, cutting off his words. It is not mine, it is Mita's. I have my beloved Priya scooter with me. Mita told her father that he should not give jewelry, but he definitely has to give a Luna. That is, everything was decided by itself. My heart was so sour. What would have happened if you had taken the scooter itself? Priya would have come in handy for Shiv. Both could go on scooter. Then there would be no hassle of wearing a sari. Going to the office wearing a salwar kameez. I pronounced the verdict. But when the daughter-in-law comes into the house, then the problem is not only of wearing and dressing. She roams freely throughout the house, giggles, nags Dhruv darling all day long, flirts with Ship, crops breakfast boxes whenever she is hungry, swings around his neck every now and then, all knocking in my eyes. She did not even spare her father-in-law. If he read the newspaper in the morning, she would read the entire paper by sitting on the handle of his chair. Till the time she lived in the house, she would hover around him, chanting Papa, Papa throughout the day. He used to feed them with impunity, scold him for not taking medicines on time. When he returned in the evening, she would go straight to the garden with a cup of tea in her hand, sit on the small stool and talk to him. At that time, my blood would really boil. Whatever was going on in the house was fine. What was the need of performing it outside? In the surrounding houses, many pairs of eyes were fixed on the windows at that time. Surprise was that the children, their father, found it all natural. There was not even a wrinkle on his forehead. That day, it was just too much. As usual, we were having our afternoon tea when Mita entered the house like a storm. Hey, so early today? Close your eyes first, please. What's up? Close your eyes first, please. Both of you. And in the blink of an eye, she put a garland each around our necks and clapped. Many happy returns of the day. Oh, what's the matter? I wanted to say. And immediately I remembered. Today was 12th of December, our wedding anniversary. I was so lost in other things that I couldn't even remember it. Dear friends, this was end of part 1. Please stay tuned for part 2. You can also drop if any particular story you wish to listen in English. Your support means a lot. Thank you.